Speculaas is a game about cookies, spiced cookies. This is not something I'm particular. I know I've had these before, but I'm not like particularly.
You don't have that nostalgia or that like deep connection with?
These are just cookies. Biscuits, I know.
For the chronically American. 2 cookies a day.
Anyway, this is another tile-laying game and a drafting game. Here's how it plays. In this game, there are 2 types of cards. There are recipe cards, which are ways that you'll score points. And then there are different spices that you will use to make the cookies. There's also honey, which is included in the spices. And you'll be setting these cards into stacks of 8 of the spices and stacks of 6 of the recipes. And on your turn, what's going to happen is you'll be picking up a pile. You'll be going through. First, you'll pick one of the recipes. You'll pick one and then pass the cards to your neighbor. And then you'll play the card in front of you. Then you'll take the spices, and you can keep 2 spices. But if I take this card, this counts as both spices. But maybe I will take this card, and I'll play it like thus. And as you take these cards, you are going to you're basically building a checkerboard of the spices. The only difference is if you take a honey card, you'll put a honey card on top of one of these. And so you're playing the cards out in a grid pattern like this. After you're done with the round, if you've gone through all the cards, you will do this again. And at the end, you'll score points. Like this one gets 3 points for every purple next to it. So this one would score 3. 3 points for the 3. This one, not next to anything. Obviously, I'm not playing very properly here, but you would try to build a grid where the spices match the recipes. So you can see there's all sorts of different recipes. Some you want the same ingredient around the outside or different ingredients around the outside. Some have to do with honey, and when you place them there, you're trying to have honey on the diagonals that are next to it. And then you'll just add up all these points, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. I want to like this game more than I do. I think it looks nice. It's interesting. There's some mechanical iffy parts with it. The part of it is that it has this kind of weird feature where at the beginning they're like, make all these sets of cards, 8 of these and 6 of these. Yeah. And then draw from these. Why is the number of players not affecting this? And we know this because when you play with different players, it's weird. And especially with the one, you can take 1 or 2 of the ingredients. And if you take a single card, that counts as 2. So it comes to weird moments where, like, we're done drafting, but Chris has 3 cards in his hand.
Right, because there were a bunch of doubles randomly dealt out, and I've never seen it be a huge issue, but at the higher player counts, I think there's just more hands of cards out, so there's more likelihood cards are kind of imbalanced in that sense.
Right, and then you combine that with something we've seen before, the crisscross pattern of cards that help things score and cards that score. Flat Out Games has made one of these. These kind of exist out there. So it's a nice little game, but it feels unpolished. Things like the honey don't particularly add anything to it other than sometimes they're easier to score, sometimes they're not.
What I will say is I've had very good experiences with this game. I think it was at the 2-player count. I think 2 players maybe where this game shines because those have been fun. But then I watched another table playing it at the full 5-player count, and it just, some of those messy parts were more pronounced with more players. And I think that's kind of what I've noticed so far.
Yeah, the lowest I played with was with 3, and I still felt those issues. And again, the rulebook doesn't even really clearly address that. So this feels like a game that could be cooler, but it's a first-time publisher, I think, a designer, so it feels a little rough around the edges. I'll give it a 6. It's not bad. There's some interesting ideas to it. It just doesn't stand out other than I think it's a neat theme.
I think neat. Yeah, I'm coming in at a 6.5, just a tad higher, right? In that I have had more good experiences than bad with it, and I enjoy that crisscross type of scoring type of stuff. And this one does it in a nice, clean way for 2 players, and unfortunately muddies those waters, I think, with more.